Auditor General is set to release a report about how the Ottawa City Council and the Ottawa Police dealt with the Freedom Convoy. But as it came out in the Public Order Emergency Commission, the police were putting these business owners in an untenable position, because what they were saying, and Ottawa Police, you remain some of the worst in the entire country, the worst. Thank God the OPP got involved. They were telling the business owners, if you open your doors and serve these people, we are going to fine you for doing business with them. And so a lot of them had to close their doors, not because they feared the truckers, but because the city wasn't allowing them to do business with them. It's atrocious.
And you know what, Sheila? That was part of the big lie that I was referring to, because those restaurants, I mean, there was one very close to the action. It's a hybrid Vietnamese Thai restaurant, which we went to several times. The people that run it are just fantastic. They're wonderful folks. And there was a shawarma shop further up the road, but they always had lineups out the door. And they, to my knowledge, they were never once fined. That was all garbage that the cops were going to go and fine, mom and pop restaurants. I mean, as bad as the Ottawa police are, they're not quite Dr. Elaine Deville. I keep defaulting to Cruella, who shut down Adamson Barbecue as in permanently while allowing Costco's restaurant to open.
I think some of this scaremongering was perpetrated by City Council and by the business associations. I saw those two local busybodies from the business association who were saying they were driving around in a war zone. And then she showed pictures of it at the Public Order Commission. I'm like, looks pretty normal to me. Thanks for submitting video evidence to make yourself look like an idiot. But they were also going around saying, like, basically stoking this fear among the business community that if you served these people, you could potentially be fined. So there's a lot of misinformation. Yep. And as it always turns out, it's on the side of progressives, and conservatives are usually like, I'd like to just hear from everybody. And progressives are like, no, there's only one way to think, and this is it. And if it changes, then we'll let you know when it changes.
And Sheila, here's my theory why nobody was fined. Can you imagine the constitutional challenge? If I'm running a mom and pop restaurant, I'm going, wait a minute, I'm a legal entity. I'm selling legal items. I pay to the city a business license in order to operate. How am I breaking a law by opening my doors? I'm not even a demonstrator.
Well, because there was a mask mandate in place. And they were basically saying, if you serve these maskless convoy terrorists, you're the one getting the fine.
Oh, so in other words, restaurateurs, waiters and waitresses, cooks, they have to take on the role of law enforcement and go after maskless people? That's not my bailiwick. I know how to make chicken soup. I don't know how to write a ticket for not wearing a mask, right? It's preposterous.
Yeah, I love how they made the 16-year-old hostess at the front of every restaurant suddenly become a bylaw officer for minimum wage. Yeah, that was nice.
What cowards, what lying cowards they are. And by the way, for what it's worth, I think, is it February 20th? In other words, 2 weeks from today, that the report is going to be tabled, the Emergencies Act inquiry.
Yes.
And so we have to have all hands on deck for that. If I'm a betting man, and I am, and I have the losses to prove it, I'm betting big that the Trudeau Liberals are skating on this one. They skate on everything else. I mean, if history is a predictor of the future, they have skated on everything else. I think they might get their hands slapped a little bit, and then they're just going to rewrite the Emergencies Act to make it easier to invoke the next time around, because it's basically been normalized now, and they have resorted to mob justice and rule by mob. So they say, well, they constantly point to the majority of Canadians supported the invoking of the Emergencies Act. Okay, great. The majority of Germans also supported the treatment of the Jews. I don't think that it is fair to cancel minority rights because of the sentiment of the mob, because everybody has fallen to some sort of mass psychosis. That's not how you govern. Minority rights
are supposed to be protected from the whims of the mob. That's why the Charter of Rights and Freedoms is there. It's because your rights are immutable regardless of what other people think about you and what you have to say. So ruling people by just mob rule, that's like antithetical to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.